Happy New Year, RMAX fans. Today I'm going to do the Weller injection system block-off plate. The AIS air injection system that Yamaha implemented on the RMAX is for emissions purposes only. How they were able to get by with the X2, X4 without AIS and then have to implement it on the RMAX, my only guess is stricter emissions regulations. So blame the tree huggers. So this is basically it. It comes with a plate, comes with solenoid hose block off and a couple zip ties. So the first thing you want to do is remove these push pins like that. While I have this, when you guys are reinserting them, if you have this pulled out all the way, you notice it spreads. You don't want to have it this pulled out all the way when you're reinserting them. Leave it inside a little bit. It'll be easier to insert. So you have one here, and you have one on each side of the engine cover. And I know some of you have complained about getting these back in. You just got to line up the plastics before you insert them. And then, on a hot day, they'll actually realign. So I've never had a problem with mine. Okay, so all four out. If you bend on the front of the cover, it helps pull it out. Just going to set this aside, and right here is what we're removing. And it takes a 5mm one. Let's break the other one loose. Now I have 5,000 miles on this engine, so my bolts might be a little tight. Might be some thread locker on there too. And I haven't pre-rehearsed this. This is my first go at doing the block off. So mine are kind of stubborn, and I'm just working the bolts back and forth. This is a fairly cold engine. You don't want to do this on a hot engine. So whenever you feel tightness, screw it back in, back it off, and then go forward again. This one's coming pretty good now. Yep, it's got some thread locker on there. That's why it's being stubborn. This right bolt, a lot more stubborn. Basically what the air injection system does is, especially at idle, it'll inject air into the exhaust via ports in the head to burn off extra hydrocarbons and whatnot. And it can make for hard starting. You can do the block-off plate, and or you can get the Weller tune, which richens a mixture for cold starts. I'm just going to wipe this down. My gasket looks pretty good. So take your block-off plate. My gasket looks in good condition. Reinsert your bolts. And you can torque to specifications. So I've gotten the Weller block-off plate installed, and the only thing left to do is remove this hose, which you just take your channel locks, slide back the clamp, and kind of twist as you're pulling off. Alright, and then you take the supplied cap, and you can use the zip ties. This is going to go over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this clamp off and reuse it. Lube up the inside of the rubber cover. There it goes. I'm going to try tightening it a little bit, or just use the supplied zip ties. There. Let's see if that works. Yep. It's not tight enough to stay on there. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. So that's it. Basically, it's pulling the cover off, removing the old port cover, and then installing the block-off plate, and then capping off at the solenoid. It's a 15 to 20 minute job, pretty easy, and you'll have better starting, but I feel the Weller tune, along with 87 octane, is actually going to be better for cold starts. But this isn't going to hurt, and it's not overly expensive, and it looks nice. There you go. Thank you, Weller, for the block-off plate.